Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Fanis Papathanasiou. I'm an anchor and diplomatic correspondent here in Greece with the public television of Greece. And what a nice afternoon to be among good friends, connecting Athens, Nicosia, and Washington with three well-known politicians, three good friends. And we're going to talk about Greece, Cyprus, the day after the Greek-Turkish relations and the elections in the United States. So we are very lucky to have Mr. Bilirakis, Mr. Kasoulidis, Mr. Koumoutsakos. And I want to thank at this point all the organizers for this effort of the Regional Growth Conference and the newspaper Peloponnesos, the basic organizer. And I want to thank all my friends that invited me to coordinate this event. So we're going to start with Mr. Bilirakis. I'm not gonna go with the protocol. I'm gonna start with Mr. Bilirakis first. Mr. Bilirakis is a well-known politician in the United States. He's a congressman in Florida. He's a friend and close associate to President Trump. So I would like his views about all the latest in the United States. President Trump, as we all know, was tested positive with coronavirus. So I want to know from Washington all the latest from Mr. Bilirakis.
With regard to President Trump and COVID, is that correct?
Yes.
Modestan. Okay. I understand that he's doing very well. He was released from the hospital. As you know, President Trump has a lot of energy. As a matter of fact, even the day before he was released from the hospital, he left with the of course the limousine, the presidential limousine, and waved to some of his supporters on the streets. And he was released yesterday evening, Eastern time, and they showed him. Now I'm in Tarpon Springs, so I'm in Florida, so I haven't had the opportunity to see him personally. However, they showed him going to the White House and climbing the steps to the living quarters. So I think he's in pretty good shape. But as you know, this disease lingers on for at least another week. And I'm sure they will be watching him closely. But it's very difficult to keep President Trump down.
So I'm going to ask you next how this situation will affect the elections and the campaign in a few minutes. But now I'm going to take a comment of this from Mr. Koumoutsakos. George Koumoutsakos is the Deputy Minister for Migration and Asylum. He's a member of the Hellenic Parliament. He was a former spokesman for the Foreign Minister, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and a spokesman of New Democracy Party. Mr. Koumoutsakos, a comment about the United States and all the situation with President Trump.
You know how sensitive it is to make any comments about domestic political life of another country, particularly in a period of a pre-election period. The only thing that I would like to stress is that I do hope that this latest incident, these latest events relating to the health of President Trump will not in any way affect the campaign and the smooth way of the United States till the vote day. So I do hope that that was an isolated event and everything will go smoothly till the critical elections of November.
Affect the election period. And let's go now to Mr. Kasoulidis. Mr. Kasoulidis is a well-known politician in Cyprus, not only in well-known politician in Cyprus, all over the world, because he was a Minister of Foreign Affairs for two periods, from 1997 to 2003, and again from 2013 to 2018. And he was also a member of the European Parliament. You know him, Mr. Koumoutsakos and Mr. Bilirakis. from his visits in the United States. Mr. Kasoulidis, your comments for President Trump.
Well, I only want to wish President Trump speedy recovery for the sake of the election campaign and for the sake of his country. There is nothing else in particular that is needed to be said on this occasion.
Mm-hmm. I want you to talk a little bit closer to the microphone, Mr. Kasoulidis. Yeah, so we can hear you a little bit loud. All right. Let's see. We try now to see. Let's go to the election. In the elections in the United States first, Mr. Bilirakis. How this will affect the elections, you think?
Well, it remains to be seen. But I feel that it will have a very little effect. The COVID diagnosis for President Trump, if he shows the energy that he's already exhibiting, then it'll be fine. Now, I think that the debates, the next debate for the president and Vice President Biden will be on October 15th. And I believe the president will be ready for that. So I don't feel that it'll have much of an effect. Now, right now, yes, because it's so close. He was diagnosed, I believe, on Friday morning, very early in the morning, it was announced. So at this particular time, it's having somewhat of an effect. But ultimately, I don't believe it will.
Okay, let's now go to U.S.-Greek relations. Minister Pompeo was here, Secretary Pompeo was here last week. He said that Greece and the United States enjoyed a great period, the best period of in its relations. What do you think? What's the state of the Greek-U.S. relations at this point?
I believe that they're very strong, and they can even get stronger. So Greece has been a terrific ally, a very reliable ally, as well, of course, Cyprus. And I'm the chairman of the Hellenic caucus, as you know, and also the co-chair of the Hellenic Israel Alliance. So the relations are very good. Secretary Pompeo, in my opinion, is outstanding. He loves Greece. And I believe he loves Cyprus as well. But it's not just that. It's Greece is a strategic ally in the Eastern Mediterranean, and Cyprus as well. Two stable countries that, and again, we have to support each other. Secretary Pompeo is a personal friend of mine, and I text him and speak with him on a regular basis, and he gives me updates on the situation. And also, I will tell you this too. You know, speaking to members of the Security Council, generals, I knew that they, and I will tell you as well, because I speak to Greek officials as well, that everything that they have promised me, the U.S. has promised me for Greece and Cyprus, they've come through. It's been very, very realistic. As a matter of fact, you know, I contacted the minority leader not too long ago in my party in the House, and I knew that he was going to speak with the President of the United States that particular day, and I told him how important Greece was, first of all, to me personally, but also to the U.S., and they needed assistance, and the U.S. needed to, the President needed to intervene, because we don't want a war. And, you know, my family's from the Bilirakis, το ξέρεις, είμαστε καλύμνοι, είμαι δεύτερη γενιά, but I better speak in English because I'm more proficient. But he assured me that he will talk to the president. The president spoke. As soon as he spoke to the president, within a couple days, the president gave the prime minister Koumoutsakos a telephone call, and they spoke for quite some time, and I thought it was very positive. And then the presidents called Erdogan who is a bad player in the region. Yes. And now the reason I know all this personally is because Alexandra, who is the, as you know, the ambassador to the United States, the Greek ambassador to the United States, we communicate on a regular basis. And I also communicate with the Prime Minister. So after the call to Erdogan, the president spoke to the Prime Minister once again, and I heard it was extremely positive. They promised me the ship months ago at Suda Bay. And, you know, that's very symbolic because it's the first African-American ship named after an African-American. But it was very symbolic, and I feel that the U.S. needed an additional presence there. To have the ship there is very important.
It's very important.
And Pompeo has also said that you know, he basically supports Greece's sovereignty.
I'm gonna Trump something that many people here mention it. I'm gonna tell you. Let me take a comment from Mr. Koumoutsakos and Mr. Kasoulidis.
Of course.
Greek relations and the relations of Washington and Ankara. Mr. Koumoutsakos. Mr. Koumoutsakos?
Okay, yeah. My micro was...
Yes, okay.
I think that we are experiencing the best moment in Greek-American relations for decades now. And it's my firm belief that this very positive atmosphere is here to stay. Because it comes out of recent geopolitical developments that have shown that Greece and the United States share a lot of common readings for the situation in Eastern Mediterranean and beyond. Greece plays a very key role in this very sensitive region of the world. We have been a very strong and credible ally in the framework of the alliance. We are spending more than 2% of our GDP in defense spending, which is one of the most important criteria for an ally to be considered as a staunch ally within NATO. And we have developed, as I said, common understanding on the developments in the broader region. The presence of the United States in Greece has been increased, both in Souda and in Alexandroupolis. And I think that it's the best period that we have had for many years. This was confirmed not only during the visit of Secretary Pompeo, but before that, during the period of tension with Turkey, all the statements that came from the State Department were statements underlying the importance of respecting international law in the region and asking for all players to respect international law, which is the fundamental position of Greece's foreign policy since many years. It is our core position that stability in the region can only happen if it is based on respect of international law, international treaties. I do hope that the United States will continue to play this role in the region. I think that they have a particular, I would say, crucial, vital interest to keep the south and east flank of NATO united and not seeing big problems or crises among member states, among Turkey and Greece. But this should always be based not on the reading of the one who tries to create tension and provocations in the region, but they should be supportive. The United States should be more supportive to a country that has shown that is a key player for stability and peace in the region. which is Greece.
Okay, Mr. Kasoulidis, are you satisfied with the United States support on Cyprus?
Yes, I share the views of Mr. Koumoutsakos, saying that this is the best period of time in the relations between the United States, Greece, and Cyprus. Let me say that it is important that I think both Greece and Cyprus, with the role that they have played in the past years, in particular in the fight against terrorism, in using our geographic position for making the decisions about the embargo on Syria or on the terrorist organizations, Hezbollah, etc., it has been observed with consistency. And I believe that we earned the attention of the United States as being a reliable partner in this region. This in connection with the role played by Turkey in the years, not just now, but many years before. It is obvious that Turkey is no longer the reliable ally of the United States, where everything, all the cards, were put to Turkey's court. And I think that it is obvious now with the erratic policies of Mr. Erdogan, by the fact that Turkey has been overexposed by invading in Syria, by refusing to withdraw from Iraq, with the role that is played in Libya, which is sustaining a civil war, because the intervention of Turkey is succeeding in sustaining the civil war. The problem is the non-observation of the international law and the international law of the sea. All these things are leading the United States to rely also on other partners, more consistent, and to this, the Sudan military installations and Alexandroupolis have been mentioned. In Cyprus as well, ports and airports of the Republic of Cyprus are there, have been there in the past. In the case of civilian evacuation of Lebanon and others. So I think that, wisely so, the United States at the moment. I forgot to mention also the very close relations between Israel, Cyprus, and Greece, which are very important for the alliance of the United States, in particular, if I am not mistaken, from the fact that the entrenchment policy of the United States, some sort of withdrawal from the region, is kept into very good hands through the allies of the United States.
Mr. Bilirakis, many people in Greece and Cyprus think that the Trump administration is, in a way, is pro-Turkish. What is your answer to them?
Well, I'll just tell you what I've heard secondhand from the president. And the president is not, I know what he says publicly, but he's not a fan of Erdogan. I know that this is what people think because of the statements he makes. But, you know, the president is non-conventional. You know that. He's unconventional. He's not a politician. And I know that he feels that Erdogan has let him down tremendously. Let's look at the actions he has taken. Now, of course, Secretary Pompeo has led that effort, but you know, the president ultimately is responsible for foreign policy. And lifting the embargo. Now, you know, the legislature, the Congress had recommended this through legislation, as you know, but lifting the embargo on non-lethal equipment, military equipment to Cyprus was a big step, a huge step in the right direction, no question. So no, I don't think that, I think this administration is very, very strong in their support of Cyprus and Greece. Now, do I want more? Of course I want more. Of course I want more. And I'm doing everything I possibly can in the Congress, but also with the administration. I want to tell you this too. The Congress has changed quite a bit, the House and the Senate. There were, as you know, some pro-Turkish leaders on both the Republican side and the Democratic side, meaning supporters, Turkish supporters, for many, many years. That's not the case anymore. They're extremely quiet because they see Turkey has been a bad actor in the region. And the ministers are correct. This is in the best interest of the United States. And this alliance that we formed, you know, with Greece, Cyprus, the U.S. and Israel, and other countries now with Egypt and Jordan, and of course France has been very supportive of Italy. It can only get better. There's so much potential. So no, I see positive things ahead. Absolutely.
Bilirakis mentioned it, that there is disappointment in a way in Washington for President Erdogan in Turkey. Can Greece take advantage of this and upgrade its strategic alliance with the United States? We saw Mr. Pompeo being in Suda Bay for 2 days, in mentioning how important is Suda Bay for the United States.
Do you want me to answer that?
Koumoutsakos, Mr. Koumoutsakos.
Okay. Yeah.
Before asking your question, this question, I would like to go back to the question answered by Congressman Bilirakis, and I take 4 words that he said, which are my words. Do I want more? Yes, I do want more. I do want more support from the United States when it comes to the Greek-Turkish relations. Why do I want more? Because what we see in Turkey is a non-reliable ally, an uncertain ally in NATO, an ally that buys armament and defense material outside the alliance, a country that is following a strategic overstretch, not always compatible with the strategy and the objectives and the military objectives and the political objectives of the alliance. A country that is present in all possible points of tension, from Syria to Libya to Azerbaijan, in Eastern Mediterranean, with the Aegean, a country that creates frictions and problems with an ally, Greece. It has as well created some problems and misunderstandings with another ally, France, and all this has a negative repercussion as far as the unity of the alliance and the coherence of the alliance is concerned in a very sensitive area, like the southern flank of NATO is. So I would like to see more support from the United States. I do understand that they have a very crucial role to play. Sometimes they need to strike balances, but I think that is that obvious that now the party that creates problems is Turkey, that I would like to see more coming from the United States. This does not mean that I don't see many positive developments as those Congressman Bilirakis referred to. When it comes to your question, should Greece take advantage of the frictions, the problems or misunderstandings between Turkey and the United States? I don't think that this should be our policy, to take advantages of the problems among others. We should lead a more coherent foreign policy, a more steady defense policy, and this will be what will increase our role and our importance in the region. I mean, we are not kids. We don't take advantage of what's happening among others. It is up to us to present a credible and effective diplomacy and foreign policy and defense policy in the region, as member of the alliance, as partners of the United States, as member of the European Union. And this will end up by increasing the importance that we already have as a country in a very sensitive region of the world.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mr. Koumoutsakos. I will go to Mr. Bilirakis, but before I will go to Mr. Kasoulidis to ask him a comment about this. Do we want more? Does Cyprus want more from the United States vis-a-vis Turkey? We know that Senator Menendez is asking for more support and is an active voice in the Senate asking for more support from the United States.
Well, I think that the partnership, strategic partnership that has been created is unavoidably going to lead to further developments in the relations between the United States and Cyprus. I think Mr. Koumoutsakos is correct when he talks about the foreign policy of Greece not to be adjusted to the adventures of Turkey and therefore try to take advantage of this. But for us, for Cyprus, I mean, things are a bit different. They are a bit different in the sense that we revindicate, we are asking to be acknowledged for the role that we have played in the region, whereas the ally, the member of NATO, which is Turkey, has done so many things, which one needs a lot of time to enumerate. And also, one main point of strategic importance for the West in general, the United States, the European Union, the role of Iran in this region, the destabilization that Iran is playing towards Israel, towards a number of Arab moderate states, including the monarchies in the Gulf, and the fact that Turkey plays here an ambiguous role. Let us not forget that already in the United States, there is a trial regarding the so-called HAL Bank, which was busting the embargo against Iran, trading it with gold. But this is not the only thing. The border is open. So therefore, we are seeking for more because we deserve more.
At your point, Mr. Kasoulidis, Mr. Bilirakis.
With regard to this, I will say that the United States now with the Trump administration it works in Greece and Cyprus's favor, in the region's favor, because they are unconventional. For years, it didn't matter who the president was, whether the Republican or Democrat. We always had the State Department not being there as much as they should be. As a matter of fact, I was in Cyprus many years ago. The minister will remember, and Turkey invaded the exclusive economic zone, and I was talking to President Kasoulidis, and he was not happy with the State Department's statement. And of course, I was there, and I spoke on behalf of the United States Congress, and I obviously strengthened the statement, and I thought that was very helpful. But with this administration being unconventional, you're seeing strong statements coming from the State Department. you're seeing Secretary Pompeo, who's not a career diplomat, making, supporting Cyprus and Greece. And it's because obviously, the Greek Americans have a great reputation, Cypriot Americans have a great reputation in the United States, but also it's in the U.S.'s best interest. And the fact that Turkey is not a reliable ally, the fact that Greece, Cyprus, and has joined with Israel and allies in the region. There's so much potential for both countries in the Eastern Mediterranean. Of course, our beloved Ελλάδα and Kipro. But again, Turkey has let us down tremendously over the years, the U.S., and people are recognizing that, and this administration has recognized that. Blocking the F-35s was a major move and the right move by the U.S. So I only see positive things happening. Now, action is more important than words. Sometimes it's good. The statements are very strong, and the leader of the free world making statements. But action and is very more effective, obviously, and you've seen that from the U.S. recently. So I'm pleased, but sure I want more. I want more for all three countries.
And that is your role, the role of the Congress, the role of representatives of the Senate, and you mentioned the bureaucracy. Bureaucracy is a step ahead from the White House, and here in Greece, at least, we enjoy a good cooperation with Ambassador Payet, who is helping a lot to improve the relations between the United States and Greece. Mr. Koumoutsakos, Greece and Turkey, they are in a way to start talking about the exploratory talks. Why so far these talks did not start? And should we trust Turkey, or do you think Turkey will put other things that are not appropriate on the table, that not Athens considers as a difference with Turkey?
Yes, don't forget that we just getting out of an overheated atmosphere. An overheated atmosphere that it was too risky. And it takes time to pass from an overheated period to a period of concrete, frank, and productive dialogue. Now we are in between the two periods. I do hope that this moment of a comprehensive and effective dialogue will soon be what we are going to have between Turkey and Greece. I have some doubts, though. I have my doubts because I see, even now, after the tension, that both in words and deeds, Turkey has not completely changed its attitude. And what I'm afraid of is that Turkey might be tempted to use this pre-dialogue period in order to increase and to broaden the scope of the issues that they would like to see being discussed between Greece and Turkey in a way that they know that Greece would have huge difficulties in accepting, because no country in the world can accept to put into question its capabilities and its policy of defending itself or its territorial integrity or territorial competence. So these two issues of demilitarizing the Greek islands in the Aegean and this theory of the so-called gray zones can be a very important stumbling block during the process of dialogue and negotiations between Greece and Turkey. I don't know what will be Turkey's final position, but so far I have some doubts regarding their readiness to have a frank dialogue on issues that can be discussed with Greece.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Kasoulidis, should we trust Turkey on these talks?
Well, I see two processes. One is the dialogue between Greece and Turkey, and regarding the delimitation of the exclusive economic zone or the seabed of either. Mm-hmm. And I see for Cyprus the process of negotiations for the solution of the problem of Cyprus, because we believe
we have
frozen. Yeah.
Can you repeat that, Mr. Kasoulidis, because it was a technical problem for a moment. Can you repeat that closer to the microphone?
If we resolve the problem of Cyprus, all the other problems will be resolved. Now, this moment that we are speaking, I said that Mr. Erdogan, presidential candidate, and they have announced the opening of the Fanis 2 days after the decision by the European Council regarding the call for refraining of any actions.
We had the technical problem for the last 10 seconds at least. Can you repeat that? Because I know that what you're mentioning that at this point is very important. Can you repeat that?
At this very moment that we are talking.
Yes.
At a meeting of one of the presidential candidates of the Turkish Cypriot community, the one that Mr. Erdogan wants to support, and creating a new fait accompli. There you see how one has to be very careful about the reliability of Turkey and whether the promises of Merkel, the Chancellor Merkel, are going to be kept up. The elections are on Sunday.
We experiencing a technical problem with Mr. Kasoulidis. We will try to fix it. We will try to correct it. We will go to Mr. Bilirakis. You mentioned, Mr. Bilirakis, that Washington is disappointed with Turkey during the last month, during the last period. And I want to mention a personal experience. A year ago, when Secretary Pompeo was here, in an interview that I had with him, he was mentioning, I was asking about Cyprus, I was asking about Greek relations with the United States, and he was always mentioning the strategic role of Turkey, the strategic role of a NATO ally that the United States wants to have him in the alliance, and how important is Turkey. At this point, when he was here last week, he did not refer to Turkey and how important is for the United States, Turkey and Ankara. What changed during this period?
Turkey's actions threatening the sovereignty of Greece, the againist. But they show that they're not reliable, and he's more than likely saying, well, we can't depend on them anymore. We need to strengthen the alliance with Greece, Cyprus, and Israel in the United States' best interest. But seeing the threats to the Greek sovereignty. You know, as I told you, I mean, I've had several discussions with members of the administration, and I even say, you know, Kasoulidis is 2 to 3 miles away from the Turkish coast. These are my people, you know, and I represent the Greek Americans throughout the United States, and you know, over my dead body, is Turkey going to take over the Aginisan? So, you know, I have a role, but more importantly, they see that Turkey is unreliable, and they've proven that even more so over the last year with their threats to Cyprus and Greece. And these are, as you said, NATO allies. So I just think that they see the picture much clearer now.
Mr. Koumoutsakos, for a last comment, because I know that you have to go, give us your last comment about the situation and the day after. What do you expect of the new administration as far as the Greek-Turkish relations?
First of all, I would like to stress that it is particularly important that we have now passed from the escalation to de-escalation. And there are some channels of communications that they are open, and we are entering a phase where we can talk to each other. But you cannot have dialogue for the dialogue. What we want is a meaningful dialogue, a dialogue that can lead to a more stable situation and more stable relations between Greece and Turkey. Is Turkey ready for such a dialogue? I have my doubts, as I tried to explain to you in my previous answer. I would like to see much more constructive attitude, statements, and deeds coming from Ankara, which I don't for the time being. And I include in this their stance when it comes to the migration issue, which is an issue of strategic importance, not only for Greece, but for Europe and for the region. There, I just want to give you just an information, is that since March, since the events that we had in Evros, where there was an attempt of a massive and illegal crossing of our borders from people coming from Turkey, actually orchestrated by Turkey, since March, Turkey does not accept to receive people to be returned as it is agreed in the EU-Turkey joint statement on migration. They refuse to take back people that they should go back according to the statement, the joint statement of 2016. So you see that if we want to pass to another much more productive period, I think that Turkey has to do its homework, and I feel that they don't do it yet, or they don't do it in a very clear.
Yeah, is the Greek government going to take any initiative towards that, to resume this statement, in order to this statement between Europe and Turkey to work again?
Mr. Papathanasiou, I do believe that we need to revisit sooner than later the agreement of 2016, because at this moment this agreement is in deep freeze, and the responsibility is of Turkey. But we need to revisit this text, because it is not very effective under the current circumstances. Is Ankara ready to discuss once again this agreement? I don't know, because they keep remaining very silent on this issue. But if we want to have a different situation in the Aegean in Eastern Mediterranean regarding migration, I think it is of essential importance, of crucial importance, that we discuss once again and renegotiate, if it's possible, the joint statement EU-Turkey on migration.
Okay, Mr. Koumoutsakos, thank you very much for your presence and your time. Have a good one. Thank you. Mr.
Bye.
Mr. Kasoulidis.
Let me just say goodbye to my good friends from the States and from Nicosia, Ioannis Kasoulidis, with whom we have been together in the European Parliament, working together very effectively, I think. And my best wishes to Bilirakis, and I would like to thank him very much for what he does in order to promote Greek-American relations and what he does in order to promote Greek interests. Thank you all. Thank you, Fanis, very much. Sorry, but I have to leave. I have to leave you.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Mr. Kasoulidis,
thank you.
There is prospects for resuming the talks with the Turkish Cypriot community after the elections in the Turkish Cypriot community. There are prospects. There is some moves right now.
I think that there have been two important movements. First of all, the declaration of the Secretary General of the UN that he intends to invite the sides to negotiations immediately after the elections in the Turkish Cypriot community. And two, the decision of the European Council last Friday, by which the framework of beginning the talks with the support of the European Union has been laid down. So, if you want my comment, is that there is no other way. For Cyprus, there is no other way but negotiations in good faith in order to finally resolve the problem of Cyprus. The more it remains open, the more developments negative towards us. Okay.
Mr. Bilirakis, let's go to you for a last comment before we close it.
I just want to, I appreciate everything that the Cypriot and Greek officials, the relationship between them and myself. And I also want to say that that your representatives in Washington, the ambassadors, both ambassadors, the Greek and Cypriot ambassador, have been excellent. And as of late, we've been reaching out to other members who may have not been strong allies of Greece and Cyprus, of the alliance in the past, but have become strong allies. So we'll just continue to do everything we possibly can, increase and strengthen the alliance. Now, I will say this, I think we do, the U.S. should consider, of course, I think we should place sanctions on Turkey. The only thing that Erdogan listens to is economics, how it's going to affect his election. And by the U.S. placing sanctions on Turkey, as we did with regard to the religious freedom with Pastor Brunson a few years ago, placing those sanctions had an effect on Turkey. Pastor Brunson was released. The fact that they've turned Hagia Sophia into a mosque, and also I believe Irini, I believe, was turned into a mosque, you know, respecting human rights for religious minorities and religious freedom for those minorities in Turkey. That should have an effect too. So again, we'll continue to do everything we possibly can. It's in the best interest of the United States and also our beloved Kipro and Ελλάδα.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your presence today. Thank you for your support to Greece and Cyprus. We know you're doing a lot, and I wish you good luck in the upcoming elections.
Nice to meet
I hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Let me also.
I plan to come if the ban is lifted. I plan to come very soon before the first of the year.
Okay. All right. Hope to see you.
Thank Congressman Bilirakis from what he is doing, has been doing, both for Greece and for Cyprus, and we are sure that he will have our support and we will have his support continuously.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you both. Have a good one. Thank you for your presence today. On behalf of the organizers of the Regional Growth Conference, I want to thank you so much. I hope to see you soon and to have the opportunity soon to talk about issues that we love and the issues that are in regard to our countries. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Here we are close to this dialogue of this Regional Growth Conference. Thank you for your attention.
My pleasure. Thank you.